Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hakim bin Abdul Aziz. I'm from class MC1102H, and today I'll be talking about the story The Monkey's Paw. The Monkey's Paw is a story about a mystical charm, a monkey's paw that is born into the home of the White families by Sergeant Major Morris. Sergeant Major Morris has been serving in India, so now the mystical charm, the monkey's paw, has an ability to grant 3 wishes to 3 people. Sergeant Major Morris was the second owner, and the first owner's third wish is for death. So, Sergeant Major Morris expresses grief over the monkey's paw and tries to destroy it. But Mr. White tried to save it and take it off of Sergeant Major Morris' possession, and actually did it with a small fee to pay. Now, his first wish was actually quite simple. It's just for a 200 pound. Now, when nothing happens immediately, the White family actually decided that it was just a hoax. Little did they know, what they wish can bring much worse consequences. Did they actually get the money? Yes, they did, but in a very tragic way. His son, Herbert, got mangled into a machine and died in a very tragic way. The representative of the company gave the White family a compensation, which is exactly what they wished for, 200 pounds. Now, after knowing this, Mrs. White noticed the unlimited power that the monkey's paw have, and decided to make her second wish, which is to bring back Herbert from death. Now, it's been 10 days since Herbert's death, and nothing actually happens immediately. The Whites then begin to hear knockings at the door, as if something or someone is arriving at their house. Mrs. White thought it was Herbert, so she rushed to the door. She tried to open the door, but the lock was at the top of the door, so she couldn't reach it. She dragged a chair to the door, and Mr. White wasn't really sure about this thing. So Mr. White looked furiously at the monkey's paw and made his third wish. That is to return whatever is at the door, Herbert or some kind of thing, back to the grave. So when Mrs. White opens the door, they actually found nothing but the dark night. So now, let's talk about the moral value that this story has. The first moral value that we can learn about the story The Monkey's Paw is, firstly, always be grateful. The Whites have pretty normal life. They have a home, they have a happy family, they didn't really have anything wrong going on with their life. But suddenly, when they were given a chance to have three wishes granted, which is anything really, they decided to wish greedily. They decided to wish without thinking about the consequences, as Sergeant Major Morris has warned them at the first place. The second moral value that we can learn is to accept fate. The Whites tried to interfere with their fate using a mythical talisman, and they realized such an attempt would only bring much worse consequences. We must not try to endlessly struggle against our destiny, but instead, we should work with it. We should work with what we have in our life to make our life more better. Finally, the last moral value that we can learn from the story The Monkey's Paw is to be careful for what you wish for. Indeed, Mr. and Mrs. White got their wish granted, but it came with a much highly cost that no one would ever made a wish if they knew the consequences in advance. So we can indeed make wish and see them accomplished, but there will be inevitably much worse consequences and sacrifice that we can never truly foresee. So we must always be careful for anything that we wish for in life. Now, in my opinion, this story is very scary. Although with the spookiness and the intense thriller that was going through all of it, there's always been a lesson from one point to another, which really brings out the moral value of the story very well. I really like the storyline, I really like how intense the story was, and for me, I really like this story. So that's all from me. Thank you.